Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. And today we're going on a journey to the cloud forests of Honduras.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, and we're going to learn all about a very, very special bird. It's called the Honduran emerald hummingbird.
Mm,
And it's not just about how beautiful this bird is.
right.
It's also Honduras's only endemic bird, which means it's
Wow.
found nowhere else in the world.
Yeah, endemic birds are fascinating.
They are. And that makes this deep dive even more exciting for me because we're going to discover a species that is incredibly unique to this one place on Earth.
Absolutely. That's what makes them so vulnerable too, right?
Exactly. And that's what I found in the research that you sent me, is that the Honduran emerald is facing some serious challenges to its survival.
Yeah, it's a real uphill battle for these guys.
It is. So why don't we start with, like, what makes this bird so special? I was looking at the sources, and they really paint this, like, vivid picture in your head when you read the descriptions. Like, iridescent green feathers. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow, yeah.
Pale underparts, and the males, oh my goodness.
Mhm.
The males have this, like, shimmering blue-green throat that I can only imagine, like, when the light hits it.
It must be stunning.
Stunning. Like, imagine that.
Yeah.
And then on top of all that, it's tiny,
Oh, yeah, they're small.
about the size of a pen.
Yeah, like you said, just this little
A
gem.
little gem, yeah. Can you imagine something that small flying?
It's incredible. Their ability to fly is it defies logic almost. But,
Yeah.
that size is actually a key part of why they're successful.
Yeah, how so?
Well, it allows them to get to these like nectar sources,
Well-
flowers that bigger birds just can't access.
Right,
And the iridescent plumage that you were talking about, that's not just, for looking pretty.
right.
It plays like this crucial role in attracting mates and even like establishing, who's boss basically.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like their way of communicating.
Absolutely.
And
That dense forest, it's competitive. They need a way to stand out.
Absolutely. And speaking of standing out, their flight is unbelievable.
That's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing.
Most birds, they just, flap up and down.
Yeah, that's what I thought all birds did.
These guys, they rotate their wings in a figure 8,
Figure 8, wow.
which is what gives them that ability to hover
Oh, I see.
and move backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Even change direction like that.
That's incredible. It's like a tiny helicopter.
It really is.
It really is. Like, how do they, like, what's the evolutionary advantage of that? Like, why move like that?
Well, it's all about energy, especially in that, humid forest environment. Hovering takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, I bet.
So that figure 8 motion, it gives them the lift they need, but they're not spending a ton of energy to do it.
Gotcha. So it's efficient.
Exactly. It's all about efficiency. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's evolution at its finest.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I noticed in the research, it said that the Honduran emerald has this particular, like, fondness for a habitat
Yes.
that we don't typically think of when we think of hummingbirds.
Right.
They like dry forests.
I do.
But-
That's what's so unique about them. Most hummingbirds, you're right, they're in the rainforest.
Yeah.
But these guys, they've carved out this niche in these drier forests, in these specific valleys, too. The Agalta, Aguan, and Guayape valleys.
Wow. That's specific.
It is specific. And those valleys, they've got the right mix of flowers and nesting sites just for them.
But that also makes them super vulnerable if those forests are threatened.
Exactly. And unfortunately, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, the sources were pretty clear about that.
Yeah.
Deforestation, for cattle ranching and for agriculture,
Shrinking their home.
shrinking their home.
Hmm.
And that's why they're listed as critically endangered, right?
Sadly, yes. Less than 1,000 birds left, it's estimated.
Wow.
Imagine that. Like an entire species, millions of years of evolution,
Gone.
gone.
Just like that.
Because, we couldn't protect a few valleys.
Wow.
And it's not just about the birds.
No.
They're pollinators. They keep the whole forest healthy.
Oh, I see.
So if they go, the whole ecosystem could collapse.
Wow. That's really scary.
It is. It really shows you how connected everything is.
So what are we doing about it? Are there, like, any conservation efforts?
There are, and they're doing some amazing work.
Oh, good.
Organizations like the Honduran Conservation Coalition and BirdLife International, they're on the ground. They're making a difference.
Okay.
And they're focusing on those valleys we talked about, setting up protected areas.
Okay. So giving them a safe space.
Exactly, a safe haven.
Mhm.
But it's not just about, fences and boundaries.
Right.
They're working with the local communities.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, teaching people about the bird, why it's important.
Yeah, because I can imagine, like, if the people who live there don't understand how special it is,
Exactly.
it's going to be hard to protect it.
Conservation has to be a team effort.
It has to be.
You can't just come in from the outside and tell people what to do.
Right.
It has to work for everyone.
Exactly.
And there's this really cool idea they're exploring. It's ecotourism.
Ooh, ecotourism.
So basically, people could come and see these amazing birds,
Wow.
but the money from the tours would go right back into protecting them.
So, bird watching tours led by locals,
Exactly.
that's a win-win.
It is. It raises awareness and funds at the same time.
That's amazing. So as we're kind of coming to the end of our deep dive today, I have this feeling of urgency,
I understand.
but also possibility.
There's definitely hope.
Yeah, that this tiny little bird facing all these challenges could be the key to positive change.
It really shows you, that everything is connected. Saving the Honduran emerald, it's about saving the whole web of life.
Right.
It makes you think, what else is out there? What other amazing creatures are waiting to be discovered?
Mm.
And what can we do, even in our own small ways, to make sure they have a future?
Yeah, that's something for all of us to think about. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.